Hello and welcome back to From a Head Teacher's Perspective with me, Paul Urry. Leadership is not only about competence, it is about calling. For those preparing to become head teachers, the relationship between vision, faith and service lies at the very heart of moral purpose. A head teacher's vision gives direction, faith gives resilience and service gives meaning. Together they form a triangle of purpose, anchoring the leader when circumstances shift, expectations rise, or uncertainty grows. This unit invites reflection on what it means to lead with hope, conviction, and humility. It explores how vision is formed and sustained through faith. Not necessarily religious faith, but a deeper belief in people, potential, and purpose, and how that belief is expressed through service to others. 1. Vision, the direction of purpose. Vision is the ability to see beyond the present, to imagine what could be, and to articulate it so clearly that others begin to see it too. It is not a slogan or a strategy document. It is a conviction about the kind of community you want to create. Every future head must develop the capacity to hold both the present reality and the future possibility in mind at once. Vision allows you to lead not from reaction, but from intention. A compelling vision has three qualities: clarity. People know what you stand for. Credibility. They see evidence of it in action. And connection. They believe it includes them. The role of the leader is to translate hope into something people can work towards. Some reflective questions. What do you want to see in your school that isn't yet true? How do you want people to feel when they belong to your community? How would you describe the kind of differences that you want your leadership to make? 2. Faith, the engine of vision. If vision shows direction, faith provides endurance. Faith in this context is not confined to religion. It is a deep inner conviction that meaning exists, that effort matters and goodness endures, and that transformation is possible. Headship will test that conviction often. There will be times when the data disappoints, when the energy dips, or when external accountability overshadows intrinsic purpose. In those moments, faith becomes the quiet force that keeps you standing when logic says, sit down. Faith allows you to believe in people when they doubt themselves, to hold hope for children and others that have written off, and to trust that consistent small actions can achieve lasting change. For leaders in faith-based schools, that belief may also be rooted in theology, in the idea that education is a form of stewardship and leadership a form of service. But even in secular contexts, all great leadership rests on some form of faith. Faith in learning, in humanity, in growth. Some questions. What do you believe about people and their potential? When have you seen faith in others, in a process, in principle? Have you seen it bear fruit? How do you sustain belief when results or recognition are slow to follow? 3. Service, the heart of leadership. Leadership grounded in service reframes authority as responsibility. To serve is not to diminish yourself, but to elevate others. The head teacher's role at its core is one of service, to pupils, to families, to staff, and to the wider community. Service-based leadership begins with empathy and ends with empowerment. It asks not, how can I look successful? But how can I make others successful? The highest form of leadership is service, not status. True service challenges ego. It demands humility, patience, and generosity, yet it also brings joy. The quiet satisfaction of knowing that every decision, every policy, every act of kindness builds something beyond the self. Some questions. In what ways do you already lead through service? How do you ensure that your service does not become self-sacrifice? Who benefits most from your leadership, and how do you know? 4. Weaving vision, faith, and service together. The relationship between vision, faith, and service is dynamic. Vision defines what you are striving for. Faith sustains why you keep going. Service shapes how you act while doing it. The most inspiring head teachers live at the intersection of all three. Their vision lifts people's eyes, their faith steadies hearts, and their service builds trust. When these elements are in balance, leadership becomes transformative rather than transactional. When one weakens, vision fades, faith wavers, or service becomes self-protection, purpose begins to erode. Your task as a future head is to nurture each element deliberately, recognizing that they feed and strengthen one another. Some questions. Which of the three, vision, faith, and service, currently feels the strongest in you? Which needs renewal or deeper attention? How might you bring these elements together more coherently in your leadership practice? 5. Vision and faith in times of uncertainty. The true test of vision and faith comes during uncertainty. Headship often involves leading through times when clarity is limited. A sudden inspection, a safeguarding incident, a budget shortfall. In those moments, staff look not only for competence, but for calm. They read your tone before they hear your words. Moral leadership during crises depends less on having the perfect answer and more on holding steady belief. Faith enables you to remain hopeful and kind when pressure intensifies. Vision ensures that your actions remain aligned with purpose rather than fear. Together, they help you to act, not react. When you are uncertain, return to your purpose. It will remind you who you are and what truly matters. Some questions. What helps you to lead calmly during pressure or ambiguity? How do you help others hold on to vision when circumstances feel uncertain? What habits strengthen your faith in the long term? 6. Service as influence. Service-based leadership is often misunderstood as passive or deferential. In truth, it is deeply influential. A servant leader gains moral authority not by demanding loyalty, but by earning trust. When people see that your motivation is genuine, that you act for collective good, not personal gain, they follow willingly. They give more of themselves because they see more in you. Service redefines power as stewardship. It recognizes that to lead is to hold something precious temporarily, to nurture it, and to hand it on stronger than you found it. Some questions. How do you currently use your influence? To control, to enable, or to serve? Who has modelled servant leadership for you, and what did you learn from them? And how can you make visible the connection between your service and the school's vision? 7. Articulating a vision of faithful service. As you prepare for senior leadership or headship interviews, you will be asked about your vision. A well-crafted answer is not a performance, it's a statement of belief. To articulate vision with conviction, Start with your why. Describe the values that drive your belief in education. Connect to who. Explain the kind of people, pupils, staff, parents you hope to nurture. End with your how. Show how service and faith translate that belief into daily action. For example, my vision is for a school where every child is known, loved, and challenged to achieve their best, because I believe education is an act of hope. My role as a leader is to serve that hope by creating a culture where both staff and pupils can flourish. Such a statement speaks from the heart while demonstrating moral depth and professional clarity. Some questions. How would you express your personal vision in 3 sentences or fewer? How does that vision connect to your deepest sense of purpose? What examples from your leadership show this vision already taking shape? 8. Reflection and application. Take 20 minutes to reflect and write this. Describe a moment in your career when you felt most connected to your purpose. Identify what beliefs or values were at work at that moment. Write a paragraph beginning with, "My vision as a leader is grounded in my belief that." Then answer this final question. How do I serve that belief through my daily actions? This reflection forms the foundation of your personal vision and faith statement, a place you can later refine into part of your headship portfolio. A closing thought. Great leaders are not driven by ambition alone, but by conviction. A sense that leadership is a form of faith made visible through service. Vision without faith can become arrogance. Faith without service risks abstraction. Service without vision may lose direction. But together, they create a form of leadership that is both principled and transformative. Headship at its best is an act of faith, a belief in children, in colleagues, and in the power of community to become more than the sum of its parts. Leadership is seeing the invisible, believing in the impossible, and serving the inevitable, the potential within every person. The accompanying workbooks support this reflective work, guiding you to articulate your values, shape your leadership purpose. Used thoughtfully, it becomes a tool for grounding your leadership in conviction, ensuring that as roles change, the heart of your leadership remains clear and consistent. Please take time to subscribe and access these resources, either by yourself or in group study. Thank you. And until next time, goodbye.